Hello guys, it's Nim and welcome to this speed build. So as you probably already saw by the title, we are building a massive mansion in Oasis Springs. Now for the vision of this mansion, I really only had a vision what I wanted the back to look like, so we are starting with the back of this build. So we have this little bit of a beach garden house, and now we are making the massive exterior of this house. Now this is built on a lot of the land grabs in Oasis Springs. And I think this lot is a 40 by 50, if I remember correctly. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I wanted to have a pretty exterior, really Oasis Spring-like, a little bit of Mediterranean look. And I never built stuff like this, but I think I succeeded quite well, if I say so myself. Now I have over 7 hours of footage for this build, so we are dividing it up in two parts. This first part will be the exterior, the roofing, the landscaping and the garden, and then the next part, which I will probably post tomorrow or somewhere next week, like be gentle for that, just depends when I finish that, it will be the entire furnishing, because I hate furnishing in the Sims 4, especially big builds. I hate it. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like it. And I had this vision of having this big open roof piece. And actually I wanted it to be like an inside garden. But you'll see when we move down one floor, that space is way too small. But I didn't realize that back here, because first we are going to do the roofing. Now this roofing, I probably redid this almost 6 or 7 times because I just wasn't happy with it and I was so confused on how to do this. So after we finished building these patios and the pool, we're gonna do the roofing, and it was awful. Like roofing, ugh, I hate it because he had all these little weird bump outs and none of the roof pieces actually really matched on it. So I had to work with round roof pieces, because the 5 angled roof pieces or the 8 angled roof pieces or even the 8 angled roof pieces, they just didn't work. So it was all working with the round roof pieces, and it looks kind of nice. I mean, in the end, I'm actually quite happy with how the roofing looks. I'm not sure about the round roof pieces. Like, it looks nice, but I'm not sure if it's really Mediterranean, because I don't live in a Mediterranean neighborhood or even a Mediterranean country. So we don't have builds like that here. So I was just going off by memory of what I saw in Italy, and then by what I thought was pretty. So hopefully it looks good and it looks kind of Mediterranean, but I did thought that this roof piece, that looks pretty Mediterranean, so I used that almost on every part of the roof. Actually, I think that's the only roof pieces that I use, like that square one and then the round one. Oh no, wait, I do have a half gabled roof in the front. 3 roof pieces, guys. I used 3 different roof pieces. Anyway, I think I actually quite succeeded in it. It was a bit of a hassle, and this mansion ends up being around 700,000 simoleons, so it's quite luxurious. And I think that the roofing makes it look pretty luxurious as well. I just have that feeling, like when you look at this build, you're like, darn it, there are living some hella fancy people in there. I don't know about you, but that's the vibe I got from it, so we're just gonna roll with it. Now, especially this bumps out with roofing, awful, because I wanted it to look pretty and I wanted it to look like one giant piece, and it just didn't work the way I wanted it to work. It's just, I don't like it. So, but we're finally done with the roofing. Like in this video, it's maybe like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, something like that. In real life, that cost me over an hour, because I had to start over because I wasn't happy with the way it looked. So, yeah, just be happy that I didn't put all of that in, because then you'll be looking at roofs for like probably this entire video. And that would be kind of a little bit boring. We all know that. So there the roof was clipping into the balcony, and I hated it, so I just added an extra room. I was like, you know what? We're just gonna have an extra room that is completely fine. And I wanted this big, massive, well, fence stone fence kind of thing. So I realized that probably like no roof wouldn't work in here, so we're gonna make a glass roof in the end. But here I was still doubting about it, like, should I do a glass roof? Should I not do a glass roof? Which pattern of glass roofs should I really go with? But we are gonna end up with the glass roofs, so in the end. And when you look down, like, it gives a lot of light in there, but it also, like, it's so pretty. But that's my opinion, like, you can have your own opinion, but I think it's really pretty. You will see me doing it now. We are just gonna go with a glass pattern, like the simple one. We're not gonna make it too much of a hassle. A hassle? That's not even a word, a hazard. Or hassle. Is hassle a word? I don't know. It sounds fun, but I'm not sure. Who cares? Anyway, we're making the back patio here, and I wanted it to be, like, grand. I want this mansion, like, if you see it, you would be like, darn it, there are living some fancy people here. So if you have a fancy house, you need fancy columns, we all know that. So these are actually base game columns, I think they are. Yes, they're base game. Because like the fences were from university, but I didn't thought that the university columns looked actually really nice, because then this would be kind of an over-the-top fancy, and I wanted it to look a bit normal still. If that makes sense. Who knows? I think it makes sense. Also, like, maybe the entire favorite thing of this entire build is the little outhouse, because I think that's so pretty. Okay, spoiler alert, but I am going to, like, transform that into a sauna. So, and it's really, really pretty. I really like it. But that's maybe just me again, who knows. Now, these columns around, like, these round pieces, they were really difficult to place because they kept clipping into other places, and that was really, really, really annoying. And I also keep forgetting that you can extend columns. I should remember that better. Also, here the roof was clipping a little bit onto the balcony, but I was like, you know what? You're probably never gonna see that, so it is completely fine. Just don't worry about it, you won't see it. But of course, now that I mention it, you will see it, but that's fine. Now we are gonna do the windows, and I was actually looking for the window that have like this arch and then this little piece of fence in between it, but I couldn't find it, so I was, you know what, I'll make it myself. And it turns out that that doesn't work, because you can see through it, and I hated that. But in the end I found it. Look, this one, I was looking for that one, and we're gonna make it blue, because again, that's a little bit of the Mediterranean, like, not so much Italian more anymore. I think it's more Greek now because of the blue, but I'm not sure. And then for all the other windows, we are gonna use from Island Living those shutters, or I believe they're shutter windows. They remind me of shutter windows. I don't actually have shutters, but they just remind me of shutter windows. So we're gonna use them actually on the entire top floor as well, and around here as well. So, because you want to have like light in your home, but you don't want to have like arches everywhere, because then people can just look in, and that would be pretty weird in real life. Let's just be honest, it would look pretty weird in real life. But in The Sims, it's fine. I think it's fine. Also in the sauna, having those arches, I think it makes it look so nice, and actually it reminds me of going on vacation. Reminds anyone else of holidays? Who knows, maybe we could go on holidays soon again. I hope so, at least, because I have a holiday booked for in July, and I really, really, really want to go, because I already paid and I'm going to do something awesome. So if we can go on holiday, just gonna tell you, I'm going to the south of Germany, and I'm going to ride my bike through like the south of Germany. I have this entire route already planned out, what I want to bike, and it will be so pretty. I will make so many pretty photos, I hope. And if I manage to do that, you can follow me on Instagram, so I will post the pictures there so you can see them. Because, like, not to brag, but I'm a pretty good photographer, so at least I think so. So who knows. Anyway, back to the build. So the outside of the exterior, I wanted to do something Mediterranean as well, but just entirely white. I thought it was a bit boring and a bit bland, so we are moving in. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to say. We are also doing some darker pieces in there to make it, just to give it a little bit more, to make it look interesting, so that you keep looking at it. I feel like homes that are just completely one color, it's a bit boring. Like in real life you might think it's acceptable, but in The Sims it looks a bit boring, so Now on the upper stairs we have like those white floorings on the balconies, and downstairs on the porches we have stone. Because I thought, you know what, Mediterranean is like pretty stony in my mind. I don't know if that's true, but in my mind it is. Now we are going to remove the second stairs because I hated that stairwell. It didn't look good, it was just really weird. Like initially I wanted 2 stairs so it would be easier to plan the upstairs because it was quite big. I think this is one of the biggest mansions that I've ever built. Like apart from the castle that I built, I've built a castle before, but this is like really massive. And I didn't want to have this weird corridor upstairs, and I ended up having a little bit of a weird corridor. And also some of the rooms are a bit of a weird shape. So the one on the left, I'm turning a lot. The one with it's a weird shape, like that one as well. There are like 3 rooms that have a normal shape and the other ones are weird. That one is a weird shape, yeah. But we're gonna work on that, and we managed to make it look quite pretty. Now downstairs I decided to make 100,000 of bathrooms because I just knew otherwise I wouldn't be able to fill up all the space. Quite a big living room, kitchen will be there, the laundry room, we are closing off the entryway, we're gonna attach a bathroom to that, we are gonna make a study there as well. Then I realized, wait, this is through the glass roof, you can't do that, so a study will be there with the bathroom. We're gonna close off all the bumps out, well almost all of them, and one of them will be a toddler's playroom, child's playroom, the other one will be a man cave, so to speak. So we're gonna add some arches there as well. And actually the room completely on the left, there on the left in the back, that will be a butler's home, or maybe a grandparent's home, or a teenager that really wants to have their own place, who knows. That's gonna be a completely separate home in this home, also with own kitchen and everything. I don't know, like maybe you even want to rent it out, use it as an Airbnb, who knows. Also, I know the roof is clipping a bit through the tiles. I don't know why, because it wasn't before, and I tried a lot, but I couldn't get it away. So I'm sorry, there will be a little bit of clipping. So down there, this will be the bathroom with ensuite, and then that will be the butler's area, sort of. Now we are gonna use debug for a lot of the landscaping, because I finally figured out how to use debug and how to find items in there, because there are so many items in there and they're not like organized by name, just all called debug. So it's quite difficult to find something, so you need to know where something is, like approximately. You can't know it exactly, or at least I can't know it exactly, but just approximately where, and then it'll be easy to find stuff. So I found these like flowers that would go perfectly around the balustrade. Is that an English word? It is a Dutch word, I don't know if it's an English word. So around the fence, and it makes it look so much nicer. It makes it look like lived in and happy and pretty. It just makes it look, I don't know, a bit summery. It reminds me of summer and flowers, and I love flowers. So, you know, that's why we used it. And I had these weird little plant boxes at the front, and I wasn't quite sure what plants I wanted to put in them. So we're just gonna leave that. Maybe we'll do a little of a guessing game. What do you think kind of plants will go in there? And you can't check it on the gallery because it's not uploaded yet, because I will upload the build after I post the next video. So what do you think? You will see in about 3 minutes, I think. So what do you think will be there? You have a little bit of time to think? Let's think, what do you think? So these pieces that we're placing now, like this weird little plant thingies, they're also debug items, and they're just base game debug, so even if you don't have any packs, you should be able to have these in your game. And what you do to get the debug like all the debug items, you press Control Shift C on your keyboard when you're in game, and then you write down bb.show hidden objects, press enter, and then you do that again, bb.show live edit objects. And then when you search on debug, you will get all the debug items, and you can find a lot of items that are free and that are placed in the normal world, but you can't get out of the normal like catalog, but now you can. So try it out, go wild with it, use it, because there are a lot of fun items in there. A lot of good items in there, a lot of items that you always want to have, and now you can have them, so that's nice. Also, right here, that plant was just going through the roof and it was clipping and it was annoying, so I was like, you know what, fine. There will be no plant for you there. Completely fine with that, who cares. So we're gonna do the back landscaping now, and I tried to make it look similar to the landscaping that's in the front, because next to this house there is also that little weird plant box area, like the green with the tiles, and I tried to make it look a little bit similar so that it really fits into the neighborhood. You can see me in a minute going over there to look, I think, or maybe I cut it out, I'm not sure anymore. So, but it looks, yeah, see that? It looks kind of similar. We're using kind of the same plants and the same flowers that are in there. Not all of them, because of course it's our garden and we want our garden to look really nice and pretty and full of flowers, because I love flowers and I love using a lot of flowers. So it will be a very wild garden with a lot of plants and a lot of different colors, but I think that in the end it all works out. Now, if you're curious to how to do all this landscaping, there is a video on my channel called How To, and it goes over how to landscape and how to make landscaping pretty and what to keep in mind when you are landscaping. So go check that out, and if you have any questions, just write them in the comments and I'll try to respond to you. Also, were you correct with these trees? Because those are the trees that are gonna end up being there. Were you correct? Be honest. If you were, good job. And if you weren't, don't worry, because it was a very surprising choice for me as well. So don't worry about it. Also, going back on the debug, you can't copy them. So if you want to use an item and you might want to use more of it, just place a lot of them down, because you can't copy them. I wish that we could. Maybe the Sims could make that possible. Who knows? I hope so. So we're adding some more cacti in the back to make it look a little bit more deserty, because of course we are in Oasis Springs and that's a bit of a desert area. So we're just gonna need that. Now, this garden is still looking a bit empty, so I was like, you know what, this is a fancy garden. And you have this pool and it's probably very green as well, so we're just gonna add grass. Everywhere. Well, almost everywhere. Because I felt like, you know what, the people that live here, they're probably rich enough to like maintain grass in this deserty area, so that would be completely fine. So here again is a very big patch of grass, and in the front we are actually gonna do something different, and we are gonna come over to that in a minute. We also planted the llama hedge. I love this llama hedge, I think it's so much fun. So again, using debug items, scaling them up, scaling them down. They have like different colors and different plants, and I think that it looks nice. I don't know why, but that corner is one of my favorite corners in this build, because it looks so nice. It's just very full and full of plants, and I like plants. And of course, because this is a fancy, hella big mansion, like it's big, you can see it in the title that I gave it in game, it says hella big mansion. I thought like these hedges, I was like, you know what, it's fancy. They're like trimmed very well. It works out perfectly for this mansion, so we are gonna place them almost all around this mansion, at least in the back garden. And I don't think, like in the Sims 2, these hedges would like, they grow weeds and everything, but in the Sims 4 they don't do that. I remember in the Sims 2, whenever I played it, like I had this giant hedges, and then there was this one edge where my gardener couldn't come, so then he would spend the entire day doing my garden. Oh, poor garden man in The Sims 2. He spent so many hours on my garden. Luckily in The Sims 4 we don't have to do that. I mean, I say luckily, but it's also kind of a shame, because I did always like it. Like having to actually take care of your garden and not planting that many like plants in there, because then you'll have to take care of it as well, and it's quite difficult. So for the front, I thought of placing those hedges as well. We were just gonna place a little bit and then we're gonna look at it like, does it look nice? No. We ended up doing nope, doesn't look nice. So we are planting some palm trees, and we are actually gonna do some rocks as well, also from the debug, and some plants like a little bit further apart to make it look a little bit more wild, like not as well maintained as in the back, but also still very fancy, in my opinion. Also with the rocks, I love adding rocks to my landscaping. And then these like paint, I think it is, like terrain paint for the floor with a little desert but still with a little bit of flowers. I think it gives that little bit of touch that it needed. So you can see it yourself. If you like it, if you don't like it, it's up to you, but I think it's really pretty. So I think we're about done with landscaping. Well, we're gonna do some little bit more landscaping here, but then we're done. So if you enjoyed this video, why not like, comment, subscribe even maybe? So you'll get, and when you subscribe, like hit the bell notification so you get notified when I post my next video, and you can watch it instantly. So that could be fun. You can also follow me on a number of social media, including my Discord server, where you get notified if my video goes up. I have a Twitch channel that I used to use a lot, but my computer kind of broke and it's not that good anymore, so I'm saving up for a new computer, and then I will be using Twitch a lot more again, because I did used to stream on that a lot, because I'm actually originally a streamer. And I made the switch to YouTube because I thought, you know what, actually making YouTube videos, it sounds really fun. I just thought it was fun. So you have Discord, Twitch, so Twitter as well. I don't tweet that much, so I won't be spamming your feed, but it could be fun to follow me on there as well. Hint, hint. Instagram, where I post pictures of my personal life and do cosplay things, because I'm also a cosplayer. And what else is there? Oh yeah, and of course my origin ID. Now if you want to search me up on the gallery, it's Nymmy, then that weird little stripe thing, and then Chan. It's also down in the description below, so you can check all that out. You can subscribe, and if you subscribe, hit the bell notification. And in the next video we are going to decorate this entire mansion, and I can tell you already, it was a big pain because it is so big, and I didn't know how or when to decorate it. It's just, there were so many rooms, so many bedrooms, and it was just really annoying. Anyway, I hope to see you guys on the next video, and I wish you all a very pleasant day. Bye guys!